League and their World Endurance Championship. It's a competition that has been designed to replicate as closely as we can to the real-life World Endurance Championship that is happening this season. We have had to substitute some tracks, as unfortunately in the World Endurance Championship calendar, they do have tracks such as Imola and the Circuit of the Americas, Bahrain and Qatar. Unfortunately, we don't have those. So as you would have seen in round one, which was commentated on by my colleague Panic at the Tesco, we were at the Yas Marina circuit in the Middle East. So that was the substitute track to replicate round one. And at round two, we have stayed in Italy and we have selected Monza to be our round two track. And we are here with the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the Pro League guys. And, we'll just talk you down through the grid shortly after their qualifying session. But the World Endurance Championship, for those who don't know, is obviously an endurance championship. The inaugural season was in 2012. However, it does have history going way back to, I believe, 1981, when the name was first used by the FIA to represent their flagship endurance season. Obviously, one of the main draws of this championship is the Le Mans 24 hours, which we will be doing our version of. Unfortunately, it won't be 24 hours, but it will be a slightly shortened version, as it is a bit of a challenge trying to organise that on the GT7 game. So we are here at the Monza race circuit. We are in the GR3 cars, which replicate the LMGT3 category within the WEC. Monza, the circuit based in the north of Italy, in just outside of Milan. 5.793 kilometer circuit, built in 1922, steeped in history throughout the years, mainly within Formula One being the most recognisable. And it's also a circuit commonly known as the Temple of Speed, which I'm sure the guys will be trying to exploit here today. So we'll talk you down through the grid, we'll talk you through the liveries, and then we will get the race underway. So, on pole after a 20-minute qualifying session with a time of 1 minute 48.225, we have P1R Motorstorm. We'll refer to him as Motorstorm for this race. A regular in the top league of the Sunday Championship within the Ultimate Racing League, and he has put it on pole in his Chip Ganassi Ford GT race car, the 2018 model. The livery is one of a limited a one race Le Mans tribute bunch, which included a red and a blue, and I can't quite remember what the other color was, but he is running the black with the white for Team Chip Ganassi and Team Ford. So, in second place from Ireland, we have GT VRS in the Iron Lynx Mercedes AMG, and that livery, I believe, was from last season's World Endurance Championship. The Iron Lynx team, well known for running very different cars throughout the years, but a team that is very familiar within the Endurance Championship. They're also closely linked to the Iron Dames car, obviously the all-female entrant at Le Mans. In third place, we have from the Hellenic Knights Racing Team, Kevin, in also for Team Ford, in a Chip Ganassi team livery, the regular season livery. This is the standard for the Chip Ganassi Ford team. And he has stuck it on in third on the grid. Just going back, GT VRS, a time of 1:48.331, just over a tenth off of the pole position time. And HKRT Kevin with a time of 1:48.5, just under 3/10 off of pole. All of these guys separated by very, very small margins. In fourth place, we have Stormfly, the guy over from Holland, I believe. I think that's what that flag is. And he is racing for the Acodis team in the Lexus this evening and for this season. A slightly different take on this livery. We tried to use different liveries on every single car throughout the three leagues within this championship. The Akodis livery being the main, well, the only livery really for the Lexus team, as they only entered for the first time last year. So we have allowed Toyota liveries, as you will see, going back through the grid for the Lexus if they wish to use them. As obviously Lexus is the luxury arm of Toyota. But there's Stormfly in the Akodis liveried Lexus, and his time was a 148.6, just over 4/10 off of pole position. So the top four covering everybody really just a tenth off the place ahead, really. So really, really close qualifying. Newcomer to the championship season, missed round one, late entrant, and he has put it on fifth place on the grid. And this is going to be fun for me to say throughout this race. It is Test Tickles. So Test Tickles there with the I think it's the WRT BMW Racing. This is the M6 that he will be using for this championship season. Obviously, in the actual WEC, it's the put my teeth back in. It's the M4 that they use. But he is going to be racing in that. His time a 148.7, half a second off of pole. In sixth place, we have our resident URL spokesman, the legendary Yoza, as he's also known as, URL Ozman, or the real Ozman to anybody who knows him from outside of the Ultimate Racing League. And he has put it in sixth place on the grid in the livery from the hypercar Toyota, the GR010, that raced about 10 years ago, I believe. Back when I think it was Kobayashi won Le Mans in that car, I think. Just trying to jog my memory. But yeah, he's in the Lexus with the GR010 Toyota livery. And his time, he just missed out on fifth place by what's that, 12 one-thousandths of a second with a time of 148.742. In seventh place, we've got Fitzy, another elder statesperson of the Ultimate Racing League, and he is in the McLaren from Garage 59. So new, I believe they're new with McLaren this season in the WEC, and that livery is the up-to-date livery, I believe, looking at it. And he has put it on seventh place on the grid. And this is where it is tight again. So just over 3/100ths of a second off of Osman's time with a 148.773. Then we've got HKR Team Manos in eighth on the grid. Another from the Hellenic Knights Racing Team in the Aston Martin from the Heart of Racing Team. And he has put it in eighth place on the grid with a 148.841. Just 5/100ths of a second off of Fitz's time. And he is there in eighth. And then at the back, you have yours truly, URL Enzo Jack, in the Ferrari 296, recent addition to the GT7 game. And this is the livery from the 499p hypercar that took James Collado, Giovinazzi, and the names escape me now. He was in the car today. Pierre Guidi, to the Le Mans 24-hour win in 2023, and obviously the Drivers' Championship last season, 2025 for the World Endurance Championship, and that is where that livery is drawn from. And his time, so the whole grid that we have here today, separated by less than a second with 49.084, struggled in qualifying, but he's there in ninth. We do have a fair few guys missing. They were unable to get the plane over to Italy or get their cars over, or they've had issues prior to qualifying that meant they couldn't either set a lap and get onto the grid for the start of the race. So unfortunately, they are missing for this race. So let's get everything up together and ready, and let's get this race underway. Rolling start for the endurance races, as you would expect from the World Endurance Championship. They do run a rolling start. And Kevin, P1R Motorstorm takes us away. Sorry, I'm so used to Kevin being on pole. Motorstorm takes us away down towards turn 1. Now this is where it could get messy. Turn 1 at Monza is the chicane, and if you pile in too hot and everybody does the same thing, then it can get a bit messy. As you can see, GTVRS and Kevin ghosting inside of each other there, but everybody has got through safely with testicles dropping right to the back of the grid there, as you can see. As the cameraman takes a little bit of time to speed up and catch up with the rest of the guys. The testicles there is at the back of the grid. So we'll just go back up to Motorstorm as we head down towards the second chicane. Nice and cleanly through from Motorstorm. GTVRS keeping Kevin at bay with Stormfly coming up, trying to make some progress. Osman there in 5th. Manos in 6th, Bitsy still holding on to 7th, but looking to make a move over Manos there. Oh, looks like Manos has got some serious glitching going on there, a bit of lag by the looks of it. Enzo Jack is up into 8th, obviously testicles at the back of the grid. And Motorstorm has picked up a half-second time penalty, so that's going to get confusing throughout this race. Stormfly and Motorstorm, 2 similar names, and they are just as quick as each other, so I imagine they will be relatively close to each other during this race. So I'd imagine Motorstorm is going to lose that first place position to GTVRS unless he stays defensive and can hold that defensive line. The GTVRS moves into the lead on the classification board. Kevin having a look as well. Kevin going around the outside. So Kevin going around the outside of P1R Motorstorm, both in the Ford GT, and Kevin gets the move done around the outside, going onto the straight there, and he is up into second place with GTVRS taking first, and Motorstorm dropping back into third place. No holds barred here, as Kevin is now looking to make a move on GTVRS on the run down into the first chicane, but he does have to yield there as GTVRS goes straight on. Oh, GTVRS has made a mistake there, so... Oh, and it looks like testicles went straight on as well. That was... let's see what happened to testicles. Oh, he's missed his breaking point completely, and the game's resetting. Enzo Jack got away with that one there. It looked like Enzo Jack was about to get sent into another dimension, but testicles bailed at just the right moment and avoided the collision. So Kevin now assumes the lead of the race ahead of P1R Motorstorm and Stormfly. Now Stormfly tucked up right in behind the rear end of Motorstorm there and looking to try and get past, but Motorstorm is also trying to get past Kevin. He's not happy with that half-second time penalty, and he does not want to yield that position. He wants to put him under as much pressure as possible. These guys looking like they're already forgetting that this is a 2-hour endurance race, and they've got to get to the end of that 2 hours, otherwise everything that comes before it is wasted. So we got Osman in 4th place. Managed to get ahead of Manos during that little... section there, and Manos there in 5th. Fitzy still holding on to 6th. I was dropped back a little bit from Manos at this stage. Enzo Jack up into 7th as a result of GTVRS and testicles making some mistakes. So these guys have got a lot of work to do. Excuse me. So they come round to finish lap 2 as you were. So we'll just have a little look down through the compounds these guys are on as everybody's looking to grab that little bit of slipstream. So Kevin's starting on the soft tyres, Motorstorm also on the softs, with Stormfly on the softs. I think everybody is going to be on the softs, and that is the case except for Testicles, who we know already to be on the medium compound. So Testicles at the back of the grid on the mediums looking to change the strategy up early on, but everybody else on the softs. So this is going to be a bit of a, depending on whether people are going to be fuel saving, trying to go long, short, it could be a bit of a sprint race for this first stint, to try and battle for position, and track position not necessarily as important as other tracks around Monza, because obviously you have the slipstream, so you can put a move on somebody and then come out of the exit and they have you on the straight because of the strong slipstream here, due to the long straights. So not necessarily the biggest benefit, but there is the point to make that if you do drop out of that slipstream, then you are up against it for the rest of the at least the lap, if not further, because you do lose that extra bit of speed going down those straights. So Kevin now looking to go even faster on this lap, looking to drop into the 49s early doors. Motorstorm holding on to his rear wing there in second place, and Stormfly still just staying calm there in third. I know Stormfly in the build up to this race, he was very vocal on his strengths here at Monza, and he was optimistic for a really strong performance. He's got a lot of confidence in that Lexus, and does believe that he's got enough to put the challenge to Kevin. So we'll see if that does unfold as the race wears on. We know, of course, how strong Kevin is. This is the first time I've had the privilege of commenting on a race that Stormfly is involved in. So we'll certainly see as the race unfolds if he can indeed put that challenge to Kevin. As we head off into lap 4, everybody looking nice and clean through the chicane, except for Manos, who looks to be all out of shape there. But it does look like it's lag related, so that could pose a bit of a difficult situation. It might be why Fitzy and Enzo Jack have dropped off the back of him, as it is really tough to follow somebody with lag. As Enzo Jack now dives to the inside looking to make a move on Fitzy, and it does look like, yeah, he's got that done nicely through the chicane. Fitzy didn't seem to fight that too much, so I think maybe a little bit of protecting his own race there from Fitzy as we head off through to the second part of this lap and onwards. Enzo Jack now up into 6th and looking to try and latch onto the back of Manos's Aston Martin there and make further progress. Osman having a nice clean race. I've just spotted there, it's the P1R Motorstorm really struggling with the track limit penalties now, and that 1 second is really going to hit him hard now as he comes through. It is a track where you can get caught out really easily, as I think Osman might have him as well. Yeah, Osman gets through as well, so Motorstorm loses another 2 positions there and drops back into 4th place. Not good start really for Motorstorm. Started in first, great lap to put it on pole, but has fallen foul of the track limit penalties, and he is dropping back. As I said, the track limits here really easy to fall foul of, particularly on the chicanes. You can take a little bit too much curb and it can throw up a half second, and you do that twice. As Enzo Jack has a little look at the inside of Manos, but just letting him know he's there. Just giving him a bit of a warning as Manos gets through nice and clean. You can see that car jumping around a bit. I think that is going to pose a bit of a problem with anybody trying to pass Manos today, sadly. But Enzo Jack just sitting there, just watching what's going on as Manos is now looking to make a move on Motorstorm. So he's right up the rear wing there of that Ford GT, and he's going to be looking to try and get that done. He's probably going to have to hold on through the right-handers coming up, as Osman has also picked up a second time penalty. So time penalties in the Pro League are still going to be an issue, it seems, this race. Really unfortunate for Osman there. He's making really strong progress and latching onto the back of Stormfly, but that second time penalty is going to kill that progress when he comes around to the penalty window, as Motorstorm is looking to try and fend off the challenge of Manos, and by the looks of it, Enzo Jack, who's latched onto the back of these two nicely as well. He was already keeping an eye. Oh, he goes well wide. Enzo Jack has done well to save that. He's gone very, very wide and belled nicely to stop spinning. Very often you see cars go wide there, and as they come back, they do spin. As Manos then looking at right up the inside there of Motorstorm, we nearly missed that. Manos was really looking at that move, but he's had to drop back. But he is going to obviously have the benefit of this slipstream, and it looks like Motorstorm has dropped off sufficiently off the back of Stormfly up ahead to lose out on the slipstream. So Manos could send it up the inside here at turn 1 of the chicane. He's not. He's going to hold station. Osman having a look. Is Osman going for it? No, Osman backing off. and just sitting in behind as well. So this is going to rage on through the next chicane probably, although Manos does appear to have the run on Motorstorm. So is Manos going to send one up the inside, or is Motorstorm going to defend? Manos is already alongside Motorstorm. The Manos all kicking up the grass there. Motorstorm didn't really give him an awful lot of room, but just enough to keep his car on the track, and he's sufficiently defended that position. The Manos is going to have to try and do something a bit different if he's going to get past Motorstorm, and all the while they're battling here, they are losing touch with Kevin and Stormfly, who are starting to stretch away into the lead of this race quite comfortably at the moment. So Manos is going to be keen to get past Motorstorm as soon as possible, and he's tucked right in behind him now. So is he going to have a look down the inside? Oh no, Motorstorm has gone defensive. The Motorstorm is going to carry the inside line going through Ascari, and he is going to, I'd imagine, going to hold that. Manos not looking to yield, but he's going to have to, and that's probably cost Manos more time than he's gained there. So he's going to have to rethink his strategy with regards to getting past Motorstorm now. Motorstorm going defensive on the inside, trying to shake that slipstream. He's got to be careful he doesn't fall foul of weaving, and we obviously don't want to see that, as it can cause problems, especially as you come into the braking zone. So nice and clean though from Motorstorm, and Manos is going to have to work a little bit harder to try and get that place. But it does look like they all have a run on Motorstorm now, so they are all closing in rapidly in that slipstream. Great camera shot there of the line, but we want to see the battle raging on as Manos looks up the inside of Motorstorm, but again just giving him Motorstorm a full wing mirror of his Aston Martin there. I mean, Osman looking up the inside of Manos on the exit. Osman is going to be tucked right in behind Manos there. He's going to be, oh no he's not. So Manos has got a good drive out of the exit of the chicane there, and that is now putting him right up in behind Motorstorm. I thought Osman had that, but Osman's exit not good, and Fitzy is now looking to get up the inside of Osman, but nothing doing there. So they get through that second chicane, and they head off up to the right-hander. So is Manos going to have the drive going down this straight? Is he going to get the exit once they come out of this one? Is he going to get a good strong exit? He is. He's got a little bit of a run there. He's got to pull out the slipstream nice and early. We don't have bump drafting in the Ultimate Racing League, so it does look like Manos has now got that move done on the straight due to that exit, and Manos is now up to third place and has the potential now to go on up after Stormfly and Kevin, but he went a bit offline there going through Ascari, and now Motorstorm is right back on him, and Motorstorm is not going to let this one go without a fight, and he is not rolling over, and he's right in behind him. Which way is he going to go? He's gone for the inside as they come down into the braking zone. Motorstorm keeping it on the inside. Manos going wide. Manos has gone wide. I don't know if there was contact there, and Manos, he's all out of shape. No grip out that far, and Manos has gone from third place down to sixth place, with Fitzy, Osman and Motorstorm benefiting. Now Osman is going to be having a look at Motorstorm going down into the chicane. So Osman tucks in, he moves to the inside. Osman got the run on Motorstorm and into the braking zone. Osman's got it done before the braking zone. Oh, Motorstorm having a look up the inside again, and Osman turns in. Didn't realise Motorstorm was there, and Motorstorm now on the gravel on the exit, and Osman and Fitzy go through. Manos back through again. Manos now having a look at Fitzy. Manos tucked in behind Fitzy, and is he going to have a run on Fitzy going down in towards the second chicane? He is, but Osman is also there. They are literally bumper to bumper. Nothing separating these three as they go into the chicane, and Fitzy on the inside. Fitzy on the inside, is he going to hold it? No, Osman does, but Fitzy looking to go around the outside. Fitzy just gets it wrong. Osman then gets a whole load of oversteer, and he's off onto the grass, and Osman now loses positions. Osman down into fourth place, but Motorstorm, where's Motorstorm got? Motorstorm coming up Osman. Enzo Jack's benefited. And oh no, we've lost Osman. We've lost Osman in the background. What on earth happened to Osman? He was battling there, and Motorstorm has dived up the inside then, and he's got the inside. Oh no, Motorstorm has just nudged him off. Don't know if there was much Osman could have done there. Motorstorm had that inside line, but unfortunately that has ruined the beginning of Osman's race. Let's just have a little look. He's dropped to the back of the pack. No damage, so that is going to be a saving grace for Osman, but Motorstorm is also no damage, but free to carry on the race. Damage not repairing on this, it is on heavy, so if you do pick up damage, the only way of getting rid of it is in the pits, as now Manos is all over the back of Fitzy as they head down towards the final turn of this 8th lap. So under braking, Fitzy taking the defensive in middle of the track and inside line, and he is going to hold that inside line all the way round and off onto lap 9, but Manos is going to get the slip all the way up this straight. So Manos now tucked in behind. We were 4 battling for this position. Enzo Jack just trying to cling on to these guys as Manos has moved early onto the inside out of the slipstream, and he is going to try, oh no, he's tucked back in behind. Cameraman a bit slow now. Manos is looking down the outside. Fitzy's taken the middle of the track to defend the position. Manos has had to yield and tuck in behind, but Manos is good on the exit, as we know, of this chicane, so he is going to have a run on Fitzy down in towards the second chicane. Enzo Jack just watching and waiting for these two to slip up as they come round. Manos now looking down the outside, which will give him the inside line into the second chicane. Manos under braking. Is he going to have the move done? Manos, he does. He gets the move done, and Fitzy ends up going across the inside of the chicane there. And Manos is up in the 3rd place again after that earlier issue. And Fitzy has picked up a half-second time penalty for good measure. Really unfortunate from Fitzy, as Manos now in 3rd place. And Enzo, oh no, we've lost Fitzy now as well. We've lost Fitzy, half-second time penalty. He's got it all wrong on there. And we've actually lost Fitzy. Oh, maybe it was a disconnect. Maybe that was what caused the. Oh, that's a real shame, because that's the battle that we had, and it's now spread out a little bit. So really unfortunate. Not sure what happened to Fitzy there, but we've lost him out of this race, and unfortunately there's no going back. But it does mean Enzo Jack finds himself in 4th place after all of that. And these laps are flying by with this level of battle, and this has turned into a sprint race for the first stint at the very least, as Osman is just trying to get back underway after that awful situation where he ended up unfortunately being a victim of a Motorstorm. Testicles in 7th place, GTVRS in 6th. GTVRS after the earlier incident in turn 1. Just on the back of Motorstorm there. He's now just on the back of Enzo Jack, so they're all sort of bunching up a little bit now. But Stormfly is now ahead of Kevin. Not sure whether that happened. That could have happened a couple of laps ago, to be fair. We were locked into a battle with the rest of the guys. I didn't see when that happened, but Stormfly has inherited the lead, but Kevin is not letting this one go without a fight, and he is just staying with him there. Let's have a little look at the tyre conditions, see if we can predict when they're going to be coming in. The Stormfly not looking too bad. The front left is showing that major wear. I'd imagine he's got a couple of laps left in it, but he will be coming in shortly. The tyres look like they're going to wear out before the fuel. Kevin also having trouble with that front left, but the tyres in general on Kevin's GC40 looking in a lot better condition. And he's also got a little bit more fuel there, so Kevin's strategy could come into play with the refueling rate around this track. Manos again, similar sort of tyre wear there, but a lot more fuel used in that Aston Martin. But he's getting some serious performance out of that car at this moment in time. Enzo Jack, similar again with the tyre wear, the rear left on that Ferrari looking a little bit worse than the others. So he's probably a little bit heavier on the throttle there, or that car just likes to eat that rear tyre. Motorstorm, yeah, looking very similar with Kevin's tyres. A lot more fuel there for Motorstorm. Motorstorm saving some serious fuel as Enzo Jack bells first. Enzo Jack into the pits. He's dived into the pits straight away. So he's going to get off of those tyres and get on some nice fresh softs. He's not going to have to refuel too much, so this could be a strategy play. So he's going to drop to the back of the pack as we get back up to the top, where Stormfly is still fending off Kevin at the front of this grid. We've got a little bit of a lull at the moment as everybody is very spread out. We started coming towards that first pit stop phase. The two-hour long race, so we're expecting in excess of about 64, 65 laps, I think we'd be expecting for this race. Looking at the lap times with 1 minute 50s, 1 minute 49 started across the board. Some really consistent laps there from Stormfly through laps 4 to 7 in the mid to high 149s. Kevin consistently in those 150s. It looks like both of them, perhaps that battle where Stormfly's taken the lead was on lap 8 and we've missed it with everything else that was going on behind, because they both had a bit of a poor lap, as we see Kevin now diving into the pits. So the first of the two out in front by quite some margin has dived into the pits to make his first stop. So it'd be interesting to see what he does and where that brings him out. But it does mean Stormfly has got some nice clear air ahead of him and a nice clear air behind him, so the pressure is off a little bit and he can just focus on hitting those apexes and getting those lap times under his belt. And hopefully when he comes into the pits, he still has the lead of this race over Kevin. But we shall see. Manos now obviously inherits second place and Most Storm in third. Bit spread out between them two, but again looking quite consistent on the lap times. Looks like everybody's had a little bit of a blip around lap 8 and 9. Lap time seems to be heavily impacted, except for GTVRS, who's looking really consistent. Testicles there after the issue he had obviously in turn 1. Looking good on those medium tyres in 1 minute 50s for the majority of his laps, which is a real competitive time on those mediums, as Kevin comes out of the pits in front of Enzo Jack by quite some margin. So Kevin is looking strong for at least a podium finish in this race, if not more, if he can nail this strategy that he's been working on. As Osman also out of the pits, Osman switching onto the medium tyres. Kevin, I think, Kevin was on the softs. So Osman looking to have a nice long stint there, flying that Welsh Dragon on the rear of his Lexus there. The Welshman Yoza going for it to try and bridge that gap, or at least make some form of strategy work after being unfortunately having his race affected by Most Storm early doors. Stormfly got a nice comfortable lead over Manos there, settling down into his laps. Those soft tyres looking like probably that front left is going to give him one more lap. I think probably one more lap, and that is going to be that. So we would expect to see him coming in at the end of this lap. Manos also looking likely on fuel, probably this lap. He may have enough to go one more. Most Storm rear left looking a little bit difficult. So we'll see. We could see a very busy pit lane at the end of this lap, looking at the current state of those tyres on the guys. Kevin, having already pitted, just coming through the second of the chicanes and off up to Curva Grande, as he has already come out on nice fresh softs. Didn't put a full tank of fuel in, so that is going to be part of his strategy, saving time in the pits. But he has come out in front of Enzo Jack, who has also pitted. I hadn't realised he has. I forgot he'd already pitted earlier than the rest of the guys. So Enzo Jack's going to be hoping to benefit from the guys ahead pitting. He's dropped down to 7th, but we've still got pit stops to come from Testicles, GTVRS, Most Storm, Manos and Stormfly. The Stormfly coming round the Curva Parabolica for the end of lap 13, and he does indeed dive into the pits. So 14% fuel. He's probably going to do the same as Kevin, I'd imagine, as Manos also dives into the pits. He's used a lot more fuel as Manos. Most Storm does carry on for another lap though, so Most Storm inherits the lead of this race with GTVRS also going through. and Testicles going through as well. We'd expect Testicles to run longer. He's on medium tires, and he's going to feel that he's going to have this strategy in the bag for this race, having started on those medium tires. But we'll see if he does indeed have that. Just realised the unfortunate pun there. So P1R Motorstorm then inheriting the lead of this race and in first place. He's going to be coming in, as is GTVRS and Testicles. Kevin up into fourth. So Kevin, the net leader of this race, as things stand. Cracking lap there on the first lap round on those soft, straight into the 48s for Kevin there. So he is on a mission to try and retake the lead of this race once Stormfly comes in, which he has done. Just missed that. Stormfly's been in and Stormfly is out, and he's got a big gap between him and between him and Kevin. So it does. Stormfly has put in a full tank, so that is going to cost him time in the pits. But he had burned through that tank, so he's making those soft tires last 2 laps longer than Kevin. But going for a full tank, this is going to be a strategy battle throughout the race, I reckon, between these two, because they're both approaching it very differently. So Enzo Jack in 6th place. He's going to be. He's managed to jump Manos in the pits. Actually, Manos was comfortably ahead of Enzo Jack. So Enzo Jack with a 49.7 on lap 13 there as his personal best, and trying to make good of those fresh soft tyres, which has managed to get him comfortably ahead of Manos there. So great stuff from Enzo Jack. Manos has gone for a full tank. I think Enzo Jack did as well. So yeah, great stuff from Enzo Jack. Manos looking like he might struggle with this strategy, but anything can happen as we see Motorstorm now into the pits. So where is Motorstorm going to come out? He's not going to come out above Kevin. So is he gonna manage to come out in front of Stormfly? Doesn't look like it as Stormfly comes around Parabolica, and he is going to go past Motorstorm. I think Motorstorm is going to lose out to Enzo Jack as well. Either that or it's going to be tight coming into the first of the chicanes. So we'll just have a look. Oh, Motorstorm just coming out of the pits now. The Enzo Jack, is he going to get... Oh, I don't think he's going to have the momentum, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. As he comes into the braking zone, he's not, so he's going to have to stick it wide and then just try and get him on the exit of this chicane. Oh, big snap of oversteer on the exit. Did well to save that as he tucks in behind Motorstorm, going down towards the second of the chicanes. But he's not been able to keep that, get that move done ahead. So Motorstorm has managed to stay ahead of Enzo Jack, albeit only just. So these two are going to be close, battling for the rest of this stint. Enzo Jack likely to be pitting before Motorstorm again. So we'll see how this battle rages on. Looks like Motorstorm has got just enough at this moment in time. Kevin then in third with Testicles. Testicles doing really well on those mediums. He's got one more lap of fuel by the look of it. It's flashing away. GTVRS has come into the pits though. So that is one hell of a stint there from GTVRS to get 15 laps out of those soft tyres and the fuel there. So he's been nursing that. That is going to be a strategy call. Is that going to bring him into play as the race rolls on? Kevin not quite able to maintain that 148 pace, dropping back into the 50s. So he's going to be thinking, right, I've done the job on Stormfly at the moment. I'm going to just nurse these tyres, nurse this fuel, make sure I focus on my strategy and don't get too carried away. He hasn't really got to worry about Testicles, I don't think, at this early stage anyway. We know Testicles is fast from his qualifying performance, but he's going very different on his strategy. He's going to do 16 laps on those medium tyres, but he has managed to maintain competitive lap times, so that is going to be one to watch. Stormfly then also into the 149s, but not quite close enough to a 148. I think that lap is going to stand for a large portion of this race. Although, as I say that, Stormfly goes purple in sector 1. The Stormfly is a man on a mission as Motorstorm and Enzo Jack. Enzo Jack does what he did to Fitzy, and the first chicane sticks up the inside of Motorstorm. Motorstorm looking to come back at Enzo Jack there. Enzo Jack going to have to fend off Motorstorm as they go round Curva Grande, and Enzo Jack goes wide a little bit. Motorstorm tucked in behind as they go through the first of the Lesmos. But it does look like Enzo Jack has got that move done. Enzo Jack using a larger portion of the rev range, I think. Yeah, Motorstorm is fuel saving. He's short shifting really early, so that has allowed Enzo Jack to just sort of get his head down and stretch that Ferrari out in front of Motorstorm by a couple of car lengths there, and he can get on up the road after Stormfly now. But I think, well, he's not that far back, so Enzo Jack is making good use of those soft tyres, and he's going to be putting Stormfly under a bit of pressure potentially, but we'll see how the strategies unfold. Testicles in the pits. Kevin inherits the lead of this race. Oh, mistake from Kevin there. We'll have a little look at that. We don't see many mistakes from Kevin, but it looks like he's got the first chicane all wrong. Yeah, he's gone a bit deep, and he's had to bounce that car through the sausages and on the way out. So a bit of a mistake there from Kevin. He's got a bit of time in the bag, so he can afford that, but you don't want to be doing that too often, as Stormfly will be hot on his heels. No such issues for Stormfly as he takes that first chicane nice and cleanly, as we now have Enzo Jack coming through with Motorstorm still staying with him for company. Enzo Jack is gradually eking out the gap there. Manos then dropping back into 5th. 49.6 personal best there. That's a great lap from Manos as a personal best on that last lap. So he has got his head in the game, and now he's going to be trying to put the pressure on the guys ahead as this stint wears on. The tyre wear, Enzo Jack being on the oldest of the tyres as he stopped much earlier than the rest of the field. So that is going to perhaps play into Manos's hands a little bit as we move through. Half hour gone of this race, and everybody's still moving along. No major mistakes resulting in extreme damage or anything like that, and so people are still playing out their strategies. Osman has made the jump on Testicles. Testicles' first stint on mediums hasn't really paid off. He's well off the back of Osman, and he's back out on a set of mediums. So is he going to try and save the time in the pit by doing one less stop? Maybe. Well, that will be interesting to see whether that pays off. Osman's still on those mediums, still looking strong there as he's just locked on, focused, trying to bring that car up through the field after the earlier issues. GTVRS doing the same, but he's out on the soft tyres, so he's just come out of the pits ahead of Osman. Considering Osman was well off the back of these guys, that is a good return so far from Osman. But GTVRS is on those soft tyres, so he is going to have the extra pace. I thought Osman was diving into the pits then, but he wasn't. He's just taking that faster line through there. So Manos going through the chicane. Oh, still with a bit of lag there from Manos, but down to a 49.1. That's a great lap in Aston. That Aston really does have some pace around here. I think it surprised a lot of people just how good that car is when they were fighting for contracts at the start of this championship. And oh, look at that, 3/10 purple in sector 1. Manos is going for that fastest lap of the race. Does look like he's still lagging, so we don't really know what it looks like on his screen. The bouncing and the bumping could just be a result of the lag, so he could actually be doing some seriously impressive lap times without it looking like it, unfortunately. Enzo Jack is gradually creeping away from Storm then, and gradually getting closer to Stormfly, is he? Let's see what he's like as he comes out of Ascari for the 18th time in this race. He's still got Motorstorm for company, but yeah, and that gap to Stormfly does look like it's stabilised. So it looks like Enzo Jack and Motorstorm could be battling from here on in throughout the rest of this race, because I think they're going to be running very similar strategies just slightly offset by when they do come into the pits. Nobody looking to come into the pits at this early stage of this second stint. Henslow with a 50.0, Motorstorm with a 49.7. So Motorstorm deciding to just ease that throttle down a little bit further and start putting that pressure on. We'll go down and have a little look, see what's going on with Osman. He's down in the back on seventh place at the moment. He's dropped back as we'd expected from GTVRS. GTVRS on the soft tyres is making good use of those. A good second or so quicker there than Osman. So on his lap times. So he is going to be eking out that gap, but Osman is going to run longer. And he is changing up just to the sort of gear selection there. So he is fuel saving quite a bit, Osman. So he's looking to go really long on these tyres. As his testicles, I'd imagine. Looking to rummage around in his sack and see what he can pull out for his strategy. As we go back up to see Kevin streaking away into the distance, something we're used to seeing. I'd like to say, looking at that gap and looking at the way the strategies have fallen so far, that Kevin is looking really strong for the win here. But well, in endurance races, anything can happen. As the strategies play out, you can see things change very quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Stormfly come into play at some point, or even Enzo Jack, maybe even Motorstorm. Even Manos, really. I mean, he's not massively far behind the guys ahead, and he's putting in some cracking lap times in this stint, all in the low 49s the last 3 laps. He is a man on the mission, and he is closing in on Motorstorm quick. Everybody spread out as we head in towards onto lap 20. So we're about a quarter, just over a quarter of the way through this 2-hour race. As we watch Osman head down towards the first chicane, trying to keep GTVRS within his sights. A little bit of a distraction there as these guys make their way running on lap 20. Nothing really happening at the moment, but we're everybody looking strong on their strategies as things stand. Some really strong lap times going in from these guys. Stormfly there with a 49.3. So they're not messing around. I think they're treating this as each stint as a sprint race. It's definitely got that vibe about it. Nobody seems to be, the guys at the front do not seem to be worried about going onto the medium or hards. Obviously, we've got the situation where there is no required tyre compounds that have to be used. So it is complete free for all as to what the guys decide to complete the race on. As we saw at Yas Marina, the medium compound tyre was the main tyre to be used and was the quickest around that circuit. But here at Monza, the softs are holding up really well, and these guys looking really confident on them. Not looking like they're struggling at all to keep them within the operating window. As Motorstorm picks up yet another 1 second penalty. Let's have a little look, see if we can figure out where that has happened. So he's clipped the grass there, and I think that's why. If you, as you look through here, so you come down towards the chicane, you can straddle the sausage on the inside, but if you get the other side of the sausage, you get a half second. But I think because he's clipped the grass there, that's giving him a full second time penalty, and that is going to be really costly. He's certainly not gained a second by doing that. The game's penalty rules are definitely suspect when it comes to the penalty situation. So that's going to give Enzo a bit of breathing space as they come through towards the penalty line. He's Motorstorm's trying to make the most of it. Enzo Jack's had a really poor exit out of Ascari. Motorstorm is literally doing everything he can to make sure he doesn't lose touch with Enzo Jack there. And you have to say good work for Motorstorm. And if you can see there, Manos is looming large in that on that straight there, and he has closed that gap. I mean, look at those lap times. Manos is a man on a mission, locked in and focused on the back of that GT40, and he wants Motorstorm. He wants that position. He won't be happy until he gets there. 49.1 again from Manos there on that last lap. That is his personal best, even if the game isn't actually recognising it in the classification there. But he is on a mission, and Motorstorm is going to have to be looking in his rearview mirror before long if he carries on at this pace. Motorstorm in the 150s, Manos obviously in the 149s comfortably, so he's going to be putting at least half a second a lap as Motorstorm goes purple. Maybe have the hurry up from his engineering team, and they've said, look, Manos is closing in really quick, do not lose that position before you stop. And maybe Motorstorm has had to get his head down and really focus on that position. Enzo Jack's still trying to fend him off. Stormfly not looking like he's closing in on Kevin. They're kind of matching the pace there. I mean, the Stormfly has dropped into the 49s, whereas Kevin has only just reappeared in those 49s. But Kevin might be looking to really save things, although as he comes around the Parabolica, he's going to have to dive into the pits because that fuel is almost empty. Literally 3% of fuel as he comes into the pits. So Stormfly is now going to inherit the lead of this race, back where he was in the first stint. So is Stormfly going to do another 13 laps on these soft tyres, or is he going to end up coming in a bit sooner? Or we will see. I think he's on lap 10 now. This would be lap 10 on this set of softs. As we also see Enzo Jack replicating Kevin there. Enzo Jack diving into the pits to follow Kevin and perhaps try and see if he can replicate that strategy. Tyres going on and fuel now going in. Kevin already up to 57% fuel. So as Kevin, that sounded like Kevin was coming out of the pits then, but he's not. He's still got fuel going on. No, he is now coming out of the pits, and he is going to come out behind Osman. Is he going to come out ahead of Testicles? So Kevin has come. Oh, it's going to be a battle down into the chicane, but Kevin is going to be able to hold on to that. So Kevin up in 6th place as he comes out of the pits. Nice clear track ahead of him with Testicles on the mediums, Kevin on the softs. I don't think Testicles is going to provide any issue for Kevin unless Kevin makes a mistake. So Kevin off on the road up towards Osman now, with Osman there in 5th place. You can see there just behind him, Kevin and Testicles battling away. Testicles not letting Kevin get away, which does surprise me. On the different compounds, I was expecting Testicles to sort of fall away, but we did say he's got some decent pace after his qualifying performance, and he's running long on these medium tyres, so maybe he's still got the long game ahead, but he's going to try and latch onto that slipstream, try and save a bit more fuel in that pocket of air behind Kevin's GT40, but he's GT40, Ford GT even, GT40 being the the iconic Ford that won the Le Mans back in 1967, wrenching it, 66 even, wrenching it out of the grip of Ferrari. Unfortunately for myself, as a massive Ferrari fan, not one of the best moments. Enzo probably shouldn't have upset Carroll Shelby and the guys at Ford, who then made the incredible machine that was the Ford GT40 that went on to win, I think it was 3 straight Le Mans when it was first incepted. So yeah, the Ford GT being the modern day version of it that Kevin and both Kevin and Motorstorm are using in this race. Enzo Jack is out of the pits and in 8th place in his Ferrari. Yeah, the Ford GT, 2018 Ford GT, very retro mod sort of look, reminiscent of the original GT40, but with a very modern feel to it. The ducts very much race focused, because the LMGT3 category is basically road going race cars, race car versions of the road cars that the manufacturers have taken. They've stripped out the interiors, they've done all manner of different magic with the underpinnings, the suspension, the chassis, and all those different things, but the general body, the look of these cars are exactly what you would find on the road, barring a bit of extra aero here and there perhaps. So that Ford GT there, those aerodynamic ducts going through behind the driver's window, you can see there on both sides, allowing for really smooth airflow over that body and giving it the downforce up onto that rear wing. A really fascinating design there from Ford to take that Ford GT40 look into the next generation, and it is a cracking looking car, especially in those Chip Ganassi colours. And Kevin doing a great job in that car. I know he's showing him as safe. He's just come out of the pits. I believe him to be still the net leader of this race once everybody else is pitted. And Motorstorm also doing a great job in that, but Manos is now putting a move on Motorstorm. So while we were reminiscing about Le Mans 24 hours of days gone by, Manos has closed that gap massively up to Motorstorm and is now latched onto that rear wing, and Manos is gonna be gunning for that as it stands second place in this race at the moment. So can Motorstorm fend him off for the rest of his stint, or is Manos going to get the move done? So as they come down towards Ascari, Manos is going to have the run on him in that pocket of air behind that slipstream, doing this wonders. Manos dives to the inside, looking to send out the inside of Motorstorm, and he has that inside line, but he does have to yield Motorstorm later on the brakes, and Motorstorm now going to hold that line, but he is offline. So that is going to give Manos a better drive out of that corner. Or is it? It looks like Manos got a bit wobbly through Ascari, and Manos isn't quite as close as he was before Ascari. So Motorstorm looks to have nailed that little section as they come down towards Parabolica to finish lap 25 and head on off the road to start lap 26. Is Motorstorm going to come into the pits, or is he going to carry on? He's carrying on. So Manos does come into the pits, though. So Manos into the pits, fed up of being stuck behind Motorstorm, or is he running out of fuel and tyres? Well, it looks like both, to be fair. So into the pits he comes from third place on the grid. Be interested to see where he comes out, as he has been a man on a mission up until the back of the end of that Ford GT there. 49s all through the board there on that stint. Really good stuff from Manos. The GTVRS goes through, so GTVRS making up some good positions, considering his earlier expedition at Turn 1 early on in this race. He's got his head down, he's knuckled in, and off he goes. Stormfly looking serene out in front. He's almost empty on that tank of fuel though, so he is going to have to come in at the end of this lap, and it's when we expected. So he seems to be running 13 lap stints on these soft tyres. Is that the way forward? Is he going to get the jump on Kevin? towards the end of this race due to that strategy choice. Well, let's see what happens. GTVRS still in third, Kevin in fourth, closing in on him. But Osman is now right in behind Kevin. So is Osman making moves there? Or has Kevin made a mistake? Because well, we'll see from his lap time, but I didn't think Osman was there. Yeah, Osman hasn't been into the pits. The Stormfly does indeed come into the pits with 0 fuel. They're not really sure what has happened to. We'll see. Check his sector time, and if not, we'll go. If it's bad, we'll go back and see if he did make a mistake. Just coming. Oh no, we missed his sector time. It's just before Ascari, isn't it? So we'll see what this lap time is coming across the line. We'll go back and have a look if he has made a mistake there. See if we could catch another rare Kevin mistake. Just surprised to see Osman right on his rear bumper there. Nothing too bad on the lap time front, so Osman must have been there. We just didn't. Well, I just didn't spot it, I should say. The Stormfly now dropping down. Getting the fuel in. Enzo Jack looks like he's going to jump Stormfly now. So Enzo Jack ahead of Stormfly. Great stuff from Enzo Jack then. He's into the 49.4. Great lap from Enzo Jack there. Edging towards those low 49s that he's going to need if he's going to make any impression on the leaders of this race. But he's currently holding 6th place. He's been into the pits. He's on fresh soft tyres. He hasn't gone for a full tank this time, but he's off up the road and he's putting in some really, well, at least one really strong lap time. Can't see what lap 27 was. Well, lap 25 I should say. But we'll just check his time. So he's just off his personal best there for sector 1. So it's not going to be a lighten up the the board time that he's going to put in this lap, but well, you never know, he might put in a great second and third sector. His Testicles has picked up a 1 second time penalty. It looks like it's for that, most likely for that second chicane. It does seem to be catching everyone out in this race, but either way, he's still looking good on those medium tyres. I'm really excited to see if that strategy comes into his own. Osman also one to watch, diving in early to get onto those medium tyres, and well, that could benefit him going forward. I think Osman was overtaken by Kevin. That's what we missed. Maybe Osman made a mistake, because lap 25 at 53.7, that's 3 seconds off of his consistent lap times, and I think that's why I didn't spot Osman there, because he wasn't. Kevin has passed him, so Kevin up into third now. Let's see if we can get a foothold in what the proceedings are. So Motorstorm has inherited the lead. He's got a comfortable gap going back towards GTVRS, but he is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. At least I hope so, because otherwise he's going to be taking a trip to the gravel, because those tyres are not going to hold on for another lap, I do not think, and I don't think his fuel will either. So he is going to be looking to come in at the end of this lap from the lead. GTVRS in second, looking at those tyres, probably got 1 or 2 more laps, but Kevin is hot on his heels in third place there, obviously on those fresh soft tyres. Osman in fourth, as we said he's on those medium tyres, low fuel at the moment. Testicles also on medium tyres, just over a quarter tank of fuel. Looks like he made a mistake on that last lap as well. We missed that one. Enzo Jack there in 6th place on the soft tyres still, relatively fresh. Stormfly now onto the soft, staying on the soft, sorry, and he's back out. Fresh soft tyres for Stormfly. Fresh soft tyres for Manos as well. Manos seems to have dropped back a little bit. I don't think anything too major. Perhaps just timing of his stops. Yeah, he's not too far off the back of Stormfly, and we know Stormfly is battling for the lead of this race, so just deceiving as things, as we move towards the halfway stage of this race. A little bit deceiving as to where everything lies. But Stormfly, Motorstorm even has now come into the pits, so we'll see where he comes out. Because GTVRS is about to have a Ford GT driven by the Greek Kevin in his rearview mirror very, very soon. well, fill in his rear view mirror very, very soon, I should say, as they come through the first chicane on lap 29. It is a bit of a shame to not have more cars on the grid, but it does mean that everyone's going to get some decent coverage throughout this race, as we only have the 8 cars after losing Fitzy through what appeared to be a disconnect early doors. So we got the 8 cars on the grid battling for the pride here, and not the victory. I think the victory is going to be between Kevin and Stormfly by how things have panned out. But who knows? We could have a surprise from Testicles, who is running those medium tyres, as we know. Just Kevin closing in more and more on the back of that GT-VRS in the AMG. I think, looking at that rear left and the front left even, this is going to be a pit stop for GT-VRS. As they come round the Parabolica, I fully expect GT-VRS to release Kevin. Is he going to? He's not. He's going for another lap. I really didn't think he would. Those tyres are not going to be very, very kind to him on this lap. And Kevin moves to the inside, and he's going to get that move done before the braking zone. I think, yeah, the move's done nice and early. Into the braking zone for the chicane. And Kevin now has clear air in front of him, nice and easily done. As we see Osman has come into the pits, so Osman on 2% fuel coming into the pits, so we'll keep an eye on what tyres he's going to be coming out on. As Testicles now inherits 3rd place, and still running on those medium tyres. So if he can make this strategy work, he's going to be a player for a podium position, I think, potentially, come the end of this race. Just looking at his times of 150s, there's guys on the softs that are doing those times, so if he can save that pit stop, he's going to be looking at a good strong haul of points potentially. Not bad for a newcomer. I don't think any of the... he's picked up another half-second time penalty. Commentator's curse there, and unfortunately he's going to lose half a second on this lap, but still going to have a good opportunity. So we'll see how his race unfolds. Enzo Jack then in 4th place, soft tyres, about 50% worn. He's got about 50% of this stint left, I expect. But look at those lap times. He is on a mission, like we were saying with Manos. Enzo Jack has really got his head down on this stint, and those lap times, 49s, all in the 49s, really good stuff, especially if he's saving fuel as well, because that is going to give him a really good strong strategy as this race comes on, and he could find himself also battling for a podium. As Testicles now serves half-second time penalty. Enzo Jack not close enough to make that benefit. Stormfly coming through Ascari on the way down to Parabolica, and Enzo Jack just about to enter Parabolica, as you can see on the mini map. So Stormfly a good chunk of time back, so Enzo Jack might have jumped Stormfly here. It certainly looks that way at the moment, but maybe they know something we don't. GT-VRS into the pits then at the end of that lap. Those tyres must have looked absolutely atrocious, but he's nursed it round. He's got it there as Stormfly crosses the line with a 149.1. He's starting to turn the screw now, starting to light the wick and put that pressure on the guys ahead. That is, with lap times like that is going to ease into that lead that Enzo Jack has, and even Kevin has, as the race goes on. Manos not messing around on this stint either, so yeah, that was a false read-in when we saw him at the back of the pack, as we figured out. So he's now into the 49.1s almost consistently. We'll see if he can do another 49.1 at the end of this lap maybe, but that is going to eat into Stormfly up ahead, and Stormfly is already eating into Enzo Jack, so Motorstorm seems to be the loser out of this situation at the moment. He's obviously on the fresher tyres, having the most recent pitted, so his strategy is going to... This is all going to come come together towards the end of the race. I think everybody's going to start bunching up once the strategies start to play out. It's almost like everybody's finding a different way to get to the same place at almost exactly the same time. It feels like at the moment. A 2 hour long sprint, a 2 hour long race full of basically mini sprint races, with everybody seemingly running on the soft tyres. Osman now on the soft tyres as well, getting shot of those mediums, and he has jumped GTVRS in the pit stop phase. GTVRS has decided to go out on the medium tyres this time around, so swapping strategy positions there. So which one's doing what as we come across the line? What's that on the rear on the rear diffuser of Osman's Lexus? He seems to have a selection of sheep on his Lexus. I'm sure that's a nod to the old Welsh stereotype, perhaps. But I wonder if Osman's noticed that on his livery. We'll see if he picks that up. We'll also see if he's watching, because I know who created that livery for Osman, and I'm sure he'll get a message if Osman has watched this commentary about the sheep on his diffuser. So Kevin coming down into Ascari there, consistent on his lap times, nursing that fuel, nursing those tyres. I think he's probably cotton on to a different strategy, maybe from Stormfly, that he's going to try and make sure he protects against. Takes a little bit of a wider line through Parabolica, and off down onto the start-finish straight. Yeah, it looks like low 50s again, so consistent, but not as quick as what we were seeing Stormfly do. So Testicles still holding on to second place. Enzo Jack closing in as Testicles does actually come into the pits. 0% fuel for Testicles, and Enzo Jack now inherits second place in this race at 50.6 for that last lap. It looks like he probably made a mistake somewhere, as he was absolutely motoring those lap times in the 49s consistently. Has brought him into play here, and he could be battling at the top as Stormfly crosses the line with a 149.1. So a rapid lap time there for Stormfly, and he's looking to try and close that gap. Manos looks like he had a bit of a poor lap on that last time round as well. So Manos' charge slightly halted there. Motorstorm is moving up through, so he's going to be looking to try and latch onto the back of Manos. Unfortunately, he's lost out to him through that pit stop phase, but yeah, he's got a bit of making up to do there, as Osman on the soft tyres in 6th place. GTVRS dropping off the back of Osman comfortably there, but he's now on the medium tyres. Does look like he's perhaps struggling a little bit with those medium tyres. That lap time of 52.1, not what we've seen from some of the other guys using those mediums. So he's going to have to get his head down and really, really lock in if he's going to fight his way back up through the pack here. So that's Testicles then at the back of the grid. Back onto a set of mediums. I think the only way he's going to make this strategy work is if he can hold these medium tyres on to. So that'd be, I think that's his second stop he's now done. So he's going to want to 3-stop this if he's going to make that strategy work for him, which I think he could probably do. But it's going to be difficult to see how he's going to make that time up, especially if he keeps dropping 1 second time penalties. So another really unfortunate victim of the track limits there. Really unfortunate. So Kevin now into the pits, which leaves Enzo Jack in front of the Tifosi here at Monza in Italy, in the Ferrari, flying the flag at the front of the pack for the first time this race. And I'm sure those Tifosi look elated as he drives round. See the fans all at the side of the track waving their arms as Enzo Jack inherits the lead of this race. Absolutely, look at those marshals, they're absolutely ecstatic. Great stuff. The Italian, the Ferrari fans, the Tifosi going bananas. The Marshals loving every minute. No, they're really not, are they? This it's not working. We'd love to see a bit more activity from the crowd, but we just don't have that. But Enzo Jack there in first place. Looks like he's going to be diving into the pits now, so that is going to hand the baton over to Stormfly, who is a good chunk away from needing to pit. So, but Enzo Jack has maintained a fairly decent gap over Stormfly, considering where he was at. So he's still going to potentially be a player in the podium positions come the end of this race. Stormfly going to have something to say about it, though, I'm sure. He has looked strong here. He did say he was hoping for some a good haul of points here, if not the race win. A lot of confidence in the pre-race build-up, and well, he's certainly putting his money where his mouth is. The lap time's looking good. The strategy looking like it could come into his own. It's all going to come down to perhaps saving a stop, maybe, as Enzo Jack does indeed dive into the pits. Manos has picked up a half-second time penalty, which judging by the fact he's still carrying it, I would say that was picked up through Ascari. So unfortunate there for Manos, who now inherits second place. Murat Storm now going to inherit third place from Enzo Jack. So Murat Storm in third, crosses the line. He already crossed the line. And off on to lap 35. We're now just over the halfway point of this race. I am live on YouTube. Doesn't appear to me that I do have anybody currently watching. So we are currently on our own, but hopefully the guys will get to see the race. Get to see the race after its conclusion from this commentary. Oh, we have two watching now. That was out of nowhere, so welcome to whoever is watching. Great to see some viewers online. Just go back down through the grid. So we got Stormfly leading this race and in first place. On these soft tyres, he's comfortably looking like a strong front runner, if not a potential race winner. With his strategy at the moment. Manos then just about to serve his half-second time penalty in second, as everybody is really spread out, bar a couple at the back of the pack. P1R Motor Storm there in third place. HKRT Kevin in fourth, our current net race leader. He's out on fresh soft tyres, having just pitted. Osman then in fifth. You can see Kevin just up the road ahead of him. Osman on the softs. Enzo Jack then on fresh soft tyres, having just come out of the pits. He's in sixth place. GTVRS on medium tyres behind him in seventh. And Testicles on those medium tyres behind again in eighth place. Undone early on by a missed braking zone and a reset on the track, so he is up against it, but he's stuck in there. He's making it. He's focusing on his strategy, and we'll see what happens. What we'll do is we'll go on board for a lap with Stormfly at the conclusion of this one, and we'll take you around a lap of Monza here in the north of Milan in Italy, so you can see what it's like from the driver's eye view as they are now well into the second hour of this 2-hour race, as Stormfly comes down towards the Ascari curves for the 36th time. So we're just now go on board. Okay, right, go on board with a Stormfly as we come round curve of Parabolica to start lap 37 onto the start finish straight. The Lexus sounding mighty. And Stormfly is not saving fuel. He is on the limit of the revs there, so No fuel saved. He is going for a lap time now. And he's coming down in towards braking section, looking for the 150 board, 100 board, braking nice and late, so down through the gears, ride that sausage curb on the inside, and then carry a little bit of speed over that sausage on the exit, and off down towards the first of the chicanes, the second of the chicanes, round Curva Grande, sorry, and on towards the second chicane. I'll get it right one day. And into the braking zone, looking just before the 100 board, and he's purple in sector 1, ride the inside of that curve and straddle the sausage on the exit there, and then off down towards the first of the Lesmos. Down on the brakes, down, he's holding the third gear there, keeps the drive going all the way through. Just out on the 50 board, ride that green on the inside of that curve and drift out wide on there, carrying the speed all the way through the second of the Lesmos as we head on down towards Ascari. It's so important to get a good exit out of the Lesmos, as this straight here can gain or lose you loads of time. So looking for the 100 meter board there for the braking zone, cut the corner a little bit on the inside, ride the curve on the inside of these middles of the Ascari curves, and then a little bit of the exit, ride it out wide, and then off down the straight towards the Parabolica to complete the lap. You're looking for the 50 board just before, and then hitting the brakes, down through the gears, holding that line nice and tight on the inside, and then pushing it out wide as you build the throttle, and then off we go down towards the start finish line, getting over to the right hand side of the track normally, but Stormfly holding that line, and a 49.7 for that lap. One of the a good strong lap there in the 49, so great stuff from Stormfly. Thank you very much for taking us round for that one. And it does look like he will be coming in after this lap, as the fuel is looking incredibly low there, as Manos now dives into the pits. So Manos into the pits to get off those soft tyres, get some fuel, and he's going to drop down through, and Motorstorm now moving up into second. About half of his stint done by the look of it. Looking good on those soft tyres. Must be saving some serious fuel. Looking at that, but off he goes through the first chicane. Kevin then also now through the first chicane. Another rare mistake there from Kevin. Drifts a little bit wide on the exit, so easily done. He gets up a little bit of gravel. Probably cost him a tenth or two, nothing major, but a little bit of a mistake there. Is that a sign of the race engineers in his headset saying to him, "Look, Stormfly may have this strategy nailed on here. He's making something work. You're going to have to push and make the most of these soft tyres and really get up the road." As Osman is having a good strong recovery drive. Really, he's not showing the same sort of pace as Stormfly is in that Lexus, but he's still consistent. So considering the earlier issue, he does look to be saving fuel all the way, although not at the he's holding fifth there. So let's just have a little look through Ascari, see if he is still saving fuel. And no, he's not. He's riding that rev range all the way out to the top end, and he's not saving any fuel at all. So he's pushing that Lexus as hard as he can. As Stormfly now dives into the pits. Now that's going to be one to watch. Where is Stormfly going to come out in relation to Enzo Jack? Enzo Jack, who was comfortably, I say comfortably, he was a good gap ahead of Stormfly in the previous stint. And as he comes around Parabolica, is he going to be able to make sure he stays ahead of Stormfly? And it looks like he is. And it looks like it might be a bit closer, unless Stormfly is still going for a full tank of fuel. So Enzo Jack still running in those 49s again, so he's really found that pace in that Ferrari, much to the delight of the Tifosi. And he's not going to be fighting for a win, but he may well be pushing for a podium place come the end of this race. So where's Stormfly going to come out? Stormfly comes out just behind GT VRS there. Out onto the soft tyres, and off he goes again. So It looks like the front runners in this race, the strategy is starting to take shape in the form of running consistently on the soft tyres. None of the front runners utilising the mediums in any way, shape or form so far. And Stormfly are going to be looking to try and get the move done on GT VRS, who's on those medium tyres. I think Stormfly is going to close that gap very quickly, judging by the pace difference. So as Tesco's there in the BMW coming round, the second of the Lesmos now, and on down towards the Ascari curves. Still focused on his strategy, still looking at the mediums. That pace really good on the mediums, in the mid 50s, or mid to high 50s. So he's got some good pace there. Manos out of the pits then on fresh soft tyres and at the back of the grid. But obviously, as we've already been proven, the strategy that are unfolding are really not reminiscent of where people are on the track. It's at this stage in the race, we're an hour and 15 minutes in, and I honestly, other than the fact that it does appear that Kevin and Stormfly seem to be to and froing for the race win, I could not tell you where the rest of the positions are going to lie. I think there could be a shout if Testicle's strategy is going to pay out and he does benefit from having one less stop, that he may well be in with a shout at the top as well. P1R Mertstorm then on the soft tyres. He does seem to be, either he's nursing those soft tyres to go long, or he's really fuel saving in that Ford GT. But lap time wise, not the same sort of performance that we saw from him at Yas Marina, where he was on a par with Kevin through a large portions of the race, but he does seem to be struggling for pace around here. I'm saying that as he's currently in first place in this race, but he is going to be coming into the pits in the next couple of laps, and he will surrender that lead to Kevin. And Kevin going to be going a little bit longer by the looks of things, in second place then, and he is chasing down Motorstorm already. So you can see there on the straight, Kevin can see the back end of Motorstorm. That's going to give him a bit of a target to work towards, and it can be a real benefit having something to aim for up ahead. So as Osman then starts his lap 41, consistently staying in those 1 minute 50s in that Lexus. Again, I think he's running as long a stint as he possibly can. The tyres are looking, he's definitely good on the tyres, is Osman. Fuel is almost running out, so I'm not sure how much fuel he did put in, but he is looking after those tyres really well. Enzo Jack then, another great start to this stint from Enzo Jack, all in the 49s, all around that 49, and he's 2 tenths up on Kevin's fastest lap there in sector 1. So Enzo Jack is on a mission then. I think he's got a whiff of a potential podium here, and that's spurring him on, and he's going for it. He's not messing around. Locked in and raring to go. GT VRS then in 5th, and Stormfly has indeed closed right up onto the back of GT VRS. So we'll stay with these two for the rest of this. Let's see how much that gap does shrink, and see if Motorstorm can get a move done. It's come down massively. Trying to stay talking for 2 hours is a challenge on the throat when you're not necessarily used to it. So excuse me for the cough, bit of dry throat going on. Try not to cough too much. As we now see Stormfly really closing in on the wing of GT VRS. Is GT VRS going to defend? No, he doesn't. GT VRS goes wide. I think he recognises that is not his race to have. Doesn't want to impact his own race by getting into a battle that isn't going to affect the overall outcome of his race. So sensible stuff from GTVRS, and Stormfly can get on up the road after Enzo Jack now. Osman now coming into the pits to get on some fresh soft tyres and fill up with fuel. So Osman dropping to the back of the grid as you'd expect after that pit stop. Manos moving up one place. Manos again, another man who is on a mission in those early on in his stint. 49.4. Look at those two lap times. 49.417, 49.414. That is consistency at his best. Great stuff from Manos. Looks like his lag has settled down a little bit as the race got on. You still see a little bit happening. It does seem better when he's not around other drivers, and he's 2 tenths up on that lap as well, so he's going for that fastest lap of the race. Can anybody actually take that from Kevin? Enzo Jack had a crack at it the last lap, 149.2, not quite quick enough, but his fastest lap of the race. Some great consistency as well there from Enzo Jack. As Kevin now right on the rear of Mertstorm. Mertstorm looking to hold him up. We'll just go back, see this, see how this comes to fruition. Then, so Kevin is closed right in as they come around the parabolica, and he's going to have that slipstream. And Mertstorm defends on the inside. He takes that shorter line, and he's right over on the inside there. I'm not sure what Kevin was doing there, because it does look like he was sort of really pushing that over to the wall, but he looked like he got the move done, but Mertstorm is not having any of it. And Mertstorm has held that line, but Mertstorm makes a mistake. He's gone deep, and now Kevin's gone deep on the exit, but Kevin's gotten the move done. Mertstorm couldn't quite fend him off. Some valiant defensive work there from Mertstorm, and unfortunately he's had to yield to Kevin. Kevin on much stronger soft tyres than the Mertstorm. Mertstorm is going to have to come in at the end of this lap, but he's not giving up. He's having a little look down the inside at the second chicane, but he's not going to have the grip on the exit to really close in on the back of that of his fellow Ford GT driver as they go through the first of the Lesmo curves. And you can see there already a couple of car lengths between the two of them, and Kevin now streaking on up the road. He's really putting the pedal to the metal now, running in the low 50s for a lot of his laps in the earlier stints, but this stint is a 49 stint all the way through, and Kevin is on a mission. This start's going to be slightly impacted by the little battle that he's had, but yeah, he's on a mission then, and he's looking strong for the race win. The one to watch really is Stormfly, I think. In the first stint, Stormfly was ahead. Stormfly ran long, and well, they're quite far apart on stints and on position on track, but every time they pit they seem to be matching there. If you look at their lap times, 149s, you got 149s, so I think they're going to come together at the end of this race, you know, and that's going to be a battle towards the line, I reckon, between the two of them. But Enzo Jack isn't having any of it. He's looking to try and put himself in that mix. Those lap times are a man that is fighting for the potential of the podium, and he's not messing about. He's got his head down, and he wants those points for his championship hopes, and he wants to do it for the Tifosi. Let's be honest. He's in a Ferrari. He's at Monza, and well, what a great result it would be for the Ferrari if he could end up managing to get a podium. As we go down, we'll have a look at GTVRS then in fourth place, working away there on the medium tyres. Consistency, again, it's great to see the consistency. These guys have obviously been working hard in practice sessions to figure out the best strategy and the best lap times and different things like that, and how they can make the best out of the make the best out of their cars around this track, and the consistency is really shining through from these guys, even if the pace difference is slightly off. But Testicles then on the medium tires showing some real serious pace. You look at GTVRS in those 151s, and he's going to have Testicles for company not before too long with those lap times that he's putting in. But a half-second time penalty for Testicles, he's fond of those time penalties. That's going to hurt his challenge there, as we see Kevin now diving into the pits. So where is Kevin going to come out? Let's have a little look at Manos, see where... Oh, Manos has taken the fastest lap of the race on lap 42, a 48.8. What a lap there in the Aston Martin. Great stuff from Manos. And, well, I think he can sense a podium as well. That could be a battle between Enzo Jack and Manos. Just going off of their lap time consistency, I think those two could end up coming together towards the end of this race as well. Motorstorm then back out on, he's gone for medium, so the first of the front runners to try something a little bit different with the strategy, and he's coming to the pits. He's now on the mediums. Where is he changing up? Yeah, so he's short shifted massively, so he is fuel saving and on those mediums. Is he going to run long and try and put the cat amongst the pigeons here? He's ahead of Osman quite comfortably, so Osman out onto a fresh set of mediums after his little soft tyre stint that he's had. Perhaps feeling that he had more confidence and comfort in the lap times on those medium tyres, and he's going to be looking to go long as well. Perhaps they're looking, they're going to have to try and get 20 laps out of these tyres, or somewhere close to, potentially. What are we going to be looking at? Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhere around the 63, 64. So yeah, they're going to try and take these to the end of the race, I'm sure, but I don't think they will. They'll go, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes as Kevin comes out comfortably in front of Motorstorm, out of the pits and onto the soft tyres again. So he is going to be sticking with that soft tyre running, which does mean that we have Enzo Jack inheriting the lead of the race again. So Enzo Jack up into first place at the moment, but he's going to be coming in at the end of this lap, matching Kevin's strategy, I think, for when he stops. Perhaps he's just learning from what he's seen from Kevin, but what a stint there from Enzo Jack. Look at those lap times all through that stint. That could well be the stint that pulls him into contention here. And, well, he's into the pits. Stormfly takes the lead of the race now. And... again, those lap times looking strong. GTVRS still going on those medium tyres. I'm really intrigued to see how this pans out. My first commentating on an endurance race, a proper endurance race. We run endurance races on the Sundays in our GT3, GR3, GR4 leagues within the Ultimate Racing League. But I don't commentate on those, and they are 50-minute races as opposed to 2 hours. And I also run the GR2 Stage Championship on a Tuesday night in the GR2 cars, and they are endurance themed, but they are also 50-minute races. This being my first 2-hour long race to commentate on, and I think yeah, it's fascinating to see how these strategies are unfolding, the positions changing all the time as everybody is trying something different, as their cars all have different characteristics and strengths and weaknesses, and the guys who have been practicing are looking to exploit those and make the best of them and minimize the impact of the weaknesses throughout their stints. So really fascinating to see the to-ing and fro-ing of this race. I'm really enjoying it, to be fair. I hope everybody is as well, if you're watching or if you watch later on. I hope you enjoy the racing. Motorstorm now, yeah, he is. So Motorstorm has latched onto the back of Enzo Jack. So let's go back, because I didn't think he was that close. Enzo Jack has just come out of the pit, so... Oh, okay, right, okay, we've dropped back, so Enzo Jack out of the pits, and Motorstorm just manages to stay out in front of him, which I think we saw on a stop before, and I did say early on that this could be a battle between these two all race long, and it does seem to be going that way, as the to and fro that I mentioned moments earlier, as Enzo Jack now has a run down on Motorstorm into the chicane, and he's stuck at the inside. He's got that done, takes it nice and tight, and a good strong exit, and Enzo Jack now up into 6th place and back ahead of Motorstorm. So so Enzo Jack does seem to have Motorstorm for company for large portions of this race. Maybe Motorstorm is working hard, but Motorstorm wouldn't have necessarily thought that, because he knows he's on the medium tyres, and I think it would be obvious. We would have seen the board come out that said Enzo was on the soft tyres. So I think perhaps a bit of self-preservation from Motorstorm there. Osman quietly going about his business then at the back of the field, but on those medium tyres, and really looking to nurse them. We've seen how good he's been on the tyres all the way through this race, often retaining a lot better tyre wear than the rest of the field. So if he can make this go to the end of the race without stopping again, he's going to find himself in amongst the positions ahead of him. So watch this space. Stormfly seamlessly out in front in the 49s and looking strong. GTVRS a fair bit back, and he is going to be pitting. He's very much out of sync in the classification at the moment. I think he's probably the 6th or 7th as a net position. And Testicles still looking good on those mediums. Looking a bit too good on those mediums and not so good on the fuel. I'm sure if he comes in, he's gonna, unless he can get a really long stint out of the softs, which I don't think they'll last, this will be his final stop. So we're coming up, we're just coming up to 3/4 race distance, hour and 30 minutes gone. And we're now looking at the drivers coming in for what will possibly be their will be their final stops for anybody coming out on the medium tyres. As GTVRS comes into the pits, Testicles goes for another lap. Did not think that fuel was going to last, but maybe he can see better than I can. So Testicles going for another lap. Maybe he's going to try and do a soft tyre stint to finish the race. Manos then up into 3rd. Kevin just behind him, having just come out of the pits on a couple of laps ago, and he's retaken fastest lap of the race on lap 46 at 48.755. Great lap from Kevin there, and back out on a fresh set of softs and really doing the business as we've come to expect from Kevin. Enzo Jack back into the 49 straight away after his pit stop, 49.8. And through the first chicane on lap 48, Motorstorm dropping back quite a bit there from Enzo Jack in that one lap, and now Osman up onto the up towards the back of them. So Osman still a good gap away from Motorstorm. Actually, it looked a little bit closer perhaps than it probably is. But yeah, he's working on his recovery drive. I'm sure those medium tyres are going to pay dividends towards the end of this race, and we'll see how he gets on. As so GTVRS has come out on medium tyres, so he is going to be full tank of fuel, medium tyres. That is going to take him to the end of this race. So no more stops for him. Where will he end up? Stormfly now into the 150s. Admittedly low 150s, but those tyres are going to be hurting him a little bit on the pace. But he's still out in front by quite some margin. Almost the whole start-finish straight between himself and Manos. So, and Kevin just behind Manos. So Stormfly has a bit of a lead there. Kevin obviously having just pitted, Stormfly still to pit, but it will be the final stop from Stormfly, and I think Kevin is going to have another stop to do as well. So, how will this turn out? Because that is going to, I think Stormfly might be in the driving seat here, might be in pole position for a race win. As Testicles then comes into the pits. So he is on the mediums, he's come in, and I'm sure he's probably going to go back out on the mediums. And that will be his final stop as well, with the guys ahead of him still to stop. Maybe Motorstorm is going to try and run really long on those mediums. As well, Enzo Jack then, soft tyres, is still in the 49s. Fourth place, Kevin in third now, onto the back of Manos. These guys both part of the Hellenic Knights racing team from Greece. Really good bunch of guys. They've come over from Greece to join the Ultimate Racing League and are currently racing a number of their competitions, this being one, and they're also ever present in the Tuesday GR Tuesdays Championships. As Kevin now in the slipstream of Manos, I don't imagine being, even though they're in different cars, being teammates, I don't imagine the fight is going to be too fierce, as Kevin does send it down the inside, gets his stops on the brakes, and then onto the accelerator to exit the Parabolica and onto start lap 50. Manos isn't quite close enough, I don't think, to have even with the slipstream, to have a look at fighting back, and I'm sure that will not be on his radar with his teammate up in front. He's just going to be looking to preserve his current position, and that is indeed what is happening. But yeah, so the Hellenic Knights racing team, they're a group of guys come over from Greece, joined up with the Ultimate Racing League, racing a couple of competitions, and full of some really, really fast guys. Biggest issue being, as you can see there a little bit from Manos, being a bit of lag, battling with them in close combat very challenging, and full of risk, taking one or both of you out. But other than that, they are very, very quick drivers. I'm not afraid to get their elbows out, but they have been I think a good addition to the Ultimate Racing League's championships, and have brought an elevated level of competition, I would say, in the competitions in the championships they do race in. So it's nice to see them involved in this championship. Particularly Kevin. I know there's a couple of guys on this grid who are racking their brains to try and figure out a way of beating him. He's proved pretty much unstoppable in whatever car you put him in at the moment. His form and his pace, undeniable. I think Stormfly is going to be really working to try and make this happen as he comes in for what will surely be his final stop as well. 13 laps will take him up to lap 64, I think, or no, 63. Maybe you can get the 64th lap out of them. Enzo Jack then coming around Parabolica. I think Enzo Jack is going to come out ahead of Stormfly, but Enzo Jack is going to have to stop again. So I do think Stormfly is ahead of Enzo Jack, which means that I'm pretty sure the battle for the race win is going to come down to Kevin and Stormfly. Manos is going to be coming in at the end of the end of this lap, looking at his fuel level. So expect to see everything start to bunch up a little bit as the guys are starting to take their final stops. And GCVRS on mediums looking, well, that's going to take him comfortably to the end of the race. Testicles the same. I think Testicles' strategy, I do think it's been glaringly obvious as the race has come towards the final half an hour that the soft tire strategy does seem to be the one to have gone for. Testicles, GTVRS, having tried mediums and been on mediums for a large chunks of this race, dropping off the back of the grid, so not quite showing the same pace as the guys ahead. Stormfly has got Osman in his sights up ahead. Stormfly on the softs, Osman on the mediums, and Osman fuel saving and nursing those tyres. He does not want to be stopping again if he can help it. This close to the end of the race now on those medium tyres, so he's going to be doing everything he can to get that car home. As Motorstorm there in fourth, also going to be doing the same. A good gap ahead of Stormfly and Osman. As you can see, Manos coming into the pits. Enzo Jack will probably Motorstorm will probably inherit second and third once Manos comes out of the pits. So you can see Enzo taking second. So Stormfly on the move as Motorstorm does indeed move ahead of Manos. Looks like these two are going to take Manos as well. But Stormfly is going to be looking to try and take Osman, I would imagine, before the braking zone. He moves to the inside, out of the slipstream and into the braking zone. He takes that inside line and he makes that move happen. And that is a great move from Stormfly, getting nice and early past Osman. That is going to benefit him no end in his battle with Kevin. Any time lost behind Osman would have really dented his hopes of taking this race win. But that move, nice and early, first opportunity, straight up the inside, job done, off you go. And you can already see a couple of car lengths appearing in just a couple of corners as that soft tyre compound really doing the job. And Stormfly heading off up the road to chase down Motorstorm, who in turn is chasing down Enzo Jack. Enzo Jack with some damage. What's happened to Enzo Jack then? Oh, Enzo Jack's had a spin. I did think Enzo Jack had a much bigger lead on. Oh, he's just where? What's happened to Enzo Jack then? He's come round first of the Lesmos. Yep, absolutely fine. Under braking. Oh, he's just dropped the back left onto the other side of the curb and there's no grip on there and he's spatting round. And now he's got to try and get back going. He's in the gravel and he's also got damage. So that's going to really affect his chances of a podium then. I think those are now done and dead in the water. Real shame looking at his times. He was on a mission. And it does look like Motorstorm is going to have a run on him as they come through Ascari, because Enzo Jack going to be nursing that damage. I'd imagine Motorstorm will go past him. Unless... yeah, is Enzo Jack going to try and nurse that car to the end of the race? I think he's definitely still got to stop, so he's going to have to repair that damage at some point. Will he do it now or will he try and go for another lap? Under braking, Motorstorm much stronger through there because obviously no damage. And Enzo Jack keeping it tight, and he does indeed dive into the pits. So we'll see what he can salvage from his race. Stormfly coming through. Let's have a look. Let's see who's still got a stop to make. As we've got about 10 laps to go off this race. But Kevin there in first, he's going to have to stop again. Those tyres, I'm sure, are not going to last him to the end of the race. Motorstorm looks like they will last. The tyres will last him to the end of the race. Will the fuel? He's doing everything he can. He is short shifting majorly in that car. Stormfly is going to be going to the end of this race. This is where this might come together, because Stormfly is going to have enough to get him to the end of this race. He's executed his strategy perfectly. Kevin's going to have to stop. Now, Stormfly is just entering the first of the Lesmos, and Kevin is just entering Parabolica. So, is that going to be a big enough gap for Kevin to retain the lead? That is going to be a tight call. So we'll keep an eye on that once Kevin goes into the pits. He's not doing it this lap, but we'll keep an eye on it, and well, we'll see how this battle pans out. So Motorstorm we think is going to the end. Stormfly definitely going to the end. Osman we think is also going to the end. As is GTVRS, Manos will also be going to the end, having just come out on the pits on soft tyres. Testicles on mediums with another of his favourite second time penalties. Going to be running to the end of this race as well. As is Enzo Jack on soft tyres, having now repaired that damage. Lots of work to do for Enzo Jack to salvage something here, so we'll see. But the only one left to pit then is our race leader, Kevin. We do believe he's the net race leader as well. Just coming round at lap 54, and then he's going to be diving into the pits, I think, at the end of this lap to change onto a fresh set of softs, refuel as little as he can get away with, and go at it. We'll be keeping an eye on Stormfly as he comes through to see exactly where this is going to come out, because I've got a funny feeling that this battle is going to rage on. Kevin now through Ascari. Really low on fuel. And, well, whatever happens, that the performance from both Kevin and Stormfly, the lap times speak for themselves. Stormfly through is still got Motorstorm for comp. Was Storm? Oh, I think Stormfly's. I thought Stormfly's got past Motorstorm. He was behind, but Kevin is into the pits. Stormfly coming under the tunnel down towards Ascari. This is going to be close. It's going to be all about how much fuel Kevin needs. So we'll stay with Stormfly, because I think this is going to go down into the first chicane. As you can see, Osman and Motorstorm also coming together now towards the end of this race, with Motorstorm massively fuel saving. Fuel is going into Kevin's car. Stormfly will be able to see that as he comes round Parabolica for the 54th time, and he's onto the start-finish straight. Fuel still going into Kevin's car. So Stormfly now accelerates down the start-finish straight. Fuel still going into Kevin's car, and I think Stormfly is going to take the lead of this race. And he does. Stormfly has taken the lead of this race now. Where is this going to pan out? Because Kevin is going to come out into... So Kevin is out into fourth. And now Kevin, if he wants this race win, is going to absolutely have to nail the remaining laps as basically qualifying laps to get past Stormfly. That is a tough ask, but Stormfly has absolutely nailed this strategy. And, well, he must be able to see that checker flag now in his mind as he heads on through lap 55. We've got just over 15 minutes left of this race. And, well, surprisingly, we have Euro Osman on his recovery drive up in second. Is he going to be able to make those medium tyres last? He's got past Motorstorm, who is making his medium tyres last. And it's going to be down to the fuel for Motorstorm. Kevin is going to absolutely destroy Motorstorm as he goes by. The soft tyres, medium tyres, fuel saving, not fuel saving. I don't think Kevin is going to be stuck behind Motorstorm for very long. As we just see Enzo Jack making a move on testicles there up the inside of the first chicane, the second chicane. Just have a little look back, just saw that on the things. So under braking, a popular place for overtaking the chicanes. Great places under braking. Curva Grande, and then dive out of the slipstream of testicles. Under braking, inside line, and through into 7th place goes Enzo Jack, trying to make amends for his traditional Enzo spin that he obviously had earlier on, well, just before he went into the pits a couple of laps ago. That has unravelled his race. He was looking strong for 3rd place, but that has fallen apart for him, unfortunately. So Stormfly then, where is Kevin? So Kevin is now going past Motorstorm. Let's get back a little bit. So Kevin is up the rear of Motorstorm as they come down towards Parabolica for the 55th time, and he dives to the inside. He's going to make the move up the inside of Parabolica, and he Motorstorm tries to cut it back, but Kevin has got the grip on those fresh soft tyres. Keeps it around the outside, but these are now going to be side by side. But Kevin has got that moved up. Motorstorm sensibly tucking into the slipstream. Is Motorstorm going to try and send it down the inside? He's supposed to be fuel saving. He's supposed to be saving his tyres. No, he's not going to go for the move. He's thought better of it, and he's going to hold station. So Kevin is now up to third and free to go after Osman up ahead, who is also on medium tyres, also fuel saving to try and get him to the end of this race. And Osman is going to have to try and fend off Kevin here, and I don't know what sort of fending he's going to be able to do. He's in a car that a much slower compound and needs to save fuel, so Kevin is going to absolutely appear on the back of that Lexus very, very soon. Yeah, so they're just coming through the second Lesmo now, and Osman, he's still got a bit of a gap there, but Kevin is going to be quick through Ascari. The soft tyres are really going to allow him to exploit the power of that Ford GT and close in on Osman, I'm sure, and potentially give him a run on the start-finish straight, I'd imagine, or is he going to be close enough? Stormfly must be rubbing his hands together out in first place. Kevin still has to pass now. Kevin not quite close enough to even threaten Osman at the moment. A bit premature on the thinking there, but he's still going to be closing in. The lap time difference being 1:49.2 for Kevin, 1:50.4, so 1.2 seconds taken out of Osman in that lap alone. But I think Osman is going to have to yield. We have a fast approaching Manos as well in 5th place. He's going to have his eyes on a podium finish, but he's going to have to get past Motorstorm if he's going to do it, as Motorstorm is doing everything he needs to do on those medium tyres and with the fuel to get him to the end of this race. And this is going to be a mammoth stint from Motorstorm if he can hold on to that position. GTVRS looking good there in 6th. Obviously Enzo benefiting from Enzo Jack's spin, but Enzo Jack is 49.1 personal best from this race. After his spin, got onto the soft tyres and a fresh set of soft tyres, and he is back doing what he was doing on the previous stint. Low 49s and on a mission to try and at least make up a couple of positions to make up for his mistake. As now a lap later, it does look like my predictions from before could start to come true as Osman goes through Ascari curves, and Kevin now is closing right in on Osman. He's tucked right into the rear of that car. He's going to be benefiting from the slip. I don't know as if he's going to have enough to do it at Parabolica, but he's certainly going to have enough to get it done on the start-finish straight. He's tucked in behind. He's going to benefit from a little bit of slip. Oh, Osman's coming into the pits. Little flash from the indicator then. Osman coming into the pits. He doesn't think he can get those medium tyres and fuel to the end of the race, and he's dived into the pits. That is set Kevin free. So Stormfly going through the first chicane. Kevin, just now going through the first chicane. So what can Kevin do about Stormfly up ahead? Stormfly in the high 49s and now into the 50s. Those soft tyres are going to be causing him some problems. Kevin, just a little bit more fuel, so the car is going to be same weight, but on much fresher soft tyres. Can he close that gap and make this work? Can he take the race win? Motorstorm then holding on to third now. Osman has dropped out of that of second place. And Motorstorm went onto those medium tyres just before, like a couple of laps before Osman, I think. So Motorstorm obviously believing that he can make this work. Look at those lap times; they are really, really slow. So he is going to be really working to to save as much fuel as he possibly can, because I think the fuel is going to be what's going to perhaps make him come a Roy Cropper at the end of this race. But we'll see. We'll see. He's doing everything right at the moment. But he is going to have a fast approaching Manos, who's into the 49, low 49s, dipping into the 48s. And he is chasing down Motorstorm. So Motorstorm just coming out of Ascari, Manos just going through. We've got about 4 laps, about 4 or 5, 10 minutes left, so 5-6 laps of this race left. And Manos has got to try and close that gap in that time, as is Kevin on Stormfly. And Kevin can see Stormfly. So, Stormfly with a 50.4 that lap, Kevin with a 49.0, 1.4 seconds taken out of Stormfly's lead in that lap. So, those soft tyres are doing wonders for Kevin, but not so much for Stormfly. This could be a battle right the way down to this could be neck and neck across the line if Kevin can get this gap down. So we'll keep an eye on things, but we won't lose sight of what's going on at the rest of the field. There's GTVRS then in 5th place, with Enzo Jack just coming across the line in 6th. He's closing in. He's in the low 49s. And he's closing right in on GTVRS there, and through that chicane. A little bit of a squirrely exit, as Osman then looking to try and take testicles. But Enzo Jack then looking to close in on the back of GTVRS. I think looking at the gap then to Manos after GTVRS, I think 5th is the best Enzo can hope to salvage from this race. And well, a bit of a shame, because I think he lost probably somewhere around about 10-15 seconds in that spin, and that could easily be him up, perhaps battling for a podium position. But as it happens, he's here battling for 5th place with GTVRS, and just keeping an eye on Stormfly and Kevin on the classification board and the mini map. And it does look like Kevin's closing in, but not quite there with Stormfly yet. So we'll stick here with Enzo Jack and GTVRS, as Enzo Jack now closes in onto the rear end of GT through the Ascari curves. And on the exits, who's going to get the better exit and the drive down towards Parabolica? Enzo Jack got a really good exit there, on the throttle nice and early, and he's tucked in behind the rear end of that AMG, and he dives to the inside. Is that a move, or is that giving him a wing mirror? No, it's a move, and he's up the inside, and he gets that move done through Parabolica, and he gets that car stopped so he can make the exit, and through the exit of Parabolica he goes. But GT is not having any of it. He's tucking in behind Enzo, and he may well look to have a go on the end in the braking zone for the chicane here. So I think Enzo Jack's just managed to stretch a couple of car lengths there, which has secured that position. And yeah, it looks like that is position 5 for Enzo Jack. GTVRS down in 6th. GTVRS on the medium tyres, Enzo Jack on the softs. That may well play into GT's hand through the coming laps if Enzo Jack's tyres go off. But otherwise, it looks like Enzo Jack might have this, have 5th place sewn up. Let's go and check on the developments up ahead as Stormfly now heads down towards Ascari curves. Kevin also heading down towards Ascari curves. Stormfly through the curves, and Kevin now through as well. And Kevin is much, much closer. Is it too much to ask for, though? It's a big gap. This is, if it's going to be a battle, it's going to be on the last lap, I think. What has Stormfly got in the tank for this lap? A 150.3. Kevin with a 149 dead, so another 1.3 seconds taken out in that lap. Kevin is on a mission. What is going to happen towards the end of this race between these two, we shall see. Let's just have a little look down. So Manos is now putting Motorstorm under pressure. We got some battles brewing as this race comes to its conclusion. Manos is going to be putting Motorstorm under pressure throughout the back end of this race. Motorstorm having saved. Is that going to be enough fuel? He's certainly saved the tyres, so he's going to have the grip. Manos is going to be on, yeah, he's heavily worn softs. Well, Manos has put in one hell of a stint there. Look at those lap times, 49, low 49s all the way through pretty much. And he now looks to send it around the outside of Curva Grande on the way up to the second chicane, but Motorstorm covers the inside line, but he then moves to the outside. And Manos looking to send it up the inside, but he doesn't. He's had to yield there. That camera angle very deceiving, makes it look much closer than it probably was. And now Manos on the exit, on the outside line, through the first of the Lesmos. Motorstorm holding the inside. Manos having to roll up as Motorstorm defends that inside line. And Motorstorm is battling for this like his life depends on it. Manos is battling as if his life depends on it, and they both want this podium position. Manos is looking like the faster of the two, but Motorstorm is defending supremely as things stand. And Manos then takes the inside line. Motorstorm holds the outside line. Manos does get the move done, but he goes deep into Ascari, and Motorstorm holds on to that position, and that has now given Motorstorm a couple of car lengths breather as they go down towards Parabolica, and that is going to be an absolute godsend for Motorstorm. As you can see, Enzo Jack battling with a GT VRS in the background. The GT VRS then looking to benefit from that slipstream, as Osman looking to fend off testicles in the background of them. Manos then going a little bit wide on Parabolica, but he looks like he's got a little bit of a run as GT is looking to send it out the inside of Enzo Jack, but Enzo Jack is working on that exit, but GT is going to have a real strong slipstream there as we look up as we head down towards the first chicane with Motorstorm and Manos. Motorstorm defending on the inside, Manos looking to go around the outside. Motorstorm keeps that line nice and tight on the inside, and through the exit Manos is right on his bumper, but that's done. Enzo Jack then defending on GT, holds that inside line, and he does the same thing and holds the exit there, and Enzo Jack holds on to 5th place with Osman holding off testicles, as Manos then up in front of Motorstorm as Motorstorm dives down to the inside, and he doesn't quite get that move done as Manos holds on to 3rd place then. Manos all squarely on the exit as they come out of that chicane and head down towards the Lesmos, as Enzo Jack is now battling against GT VRS through the exit there, but he gets a better drive out the corner as Motorstorm now looking to stick with the back end of this Aston, going through the second of the Lesmos as they head down towards the Ascari curves, and he's going to be in that slipstream. Enzo Jack's going to be fending off GT VRS there, with GT stuck in the slipstream as well. As they come down towards the braking zone, is Manos going to hold on? And it does look like he is. Motorstorm is not going to let it go down without a fight as he gets through the Ascari curves, and he's tucked in behind. He's going to have that slipstream. He's got good drive. Just go back. So Enzo Jack then, GT stuck right to his rear end as well. So as they come down towards Parabolica, these guys are going to be battling tooth and nail. And Motorstorm now sending up the inside of Parabolica, up the inside of Manos, and he holds that inside line. Manos going wider. Can Motorstorm hold that inside line and get the power down? It looks like he has. They're side by side as they come down towards the start-finish straight. And Manos looks like, oh, I can't even tell. Manos is ahead on the classifications, but Motorstorm is staying on that inside line. They are side by side, heading into the braking zone for the first chicane. Motorstorm just ahead into the braking zone, and Motorstorm is going to have that inside line through the chicane. He gets the move done. Motorstorm back up into 3rd. This is great stuff from these guys. A little bit of a bump there as Manos gets caught out by the braking from Motorstorm. Great stuff from these two, as Manos now looking to battle back with Motorstorm on the exit, and we're missing any potential battle up ahead with Stormfly and Kevin. We'll go up and check those out in a second. But Motorstorm now fending off Manos on the inside line, goes defensive, and he gets the inside line through the chicane. We're just going to check on Stormfly and Kevin, and yes, as I thought, Kevin is tucked up in behind Stormfly, so battles all the way. Kevin moves to the inside, going down towards the Ascari curves, and Kevin is through. Kevin has made the gap, and Kevin is taking the lead of this race, but is Stormfly going to have anything to answer for? Stormfly on his seriously worn tyres, low fuel. Is he going to have an answer for Kevin? I don't think he is. Kevin now with much better tyres and much better fuel, but Stormfly is in the slipstream as Motorstorm has definitely got a car length there on thing, as Kevin now coming round Parabolica, and he's fended off Stormfly for now. Has Stormfly got anything left? He's not really got any tools at his disposal, and they have got to do another lap. I don't think Motorstorm and Manos are going to have to complete another lap. Motorstorm will be glad of that. He's nearly out of fuel. as he comes down towards Parabolica. Wow. Motorstorm has fended off Manos, and that is a 2-minute marker has gone. And Matt Motorstorm will cross the line to take third place. Great stuff from Motorstorm. Not sure how he did that, and Manos takes fourth. Enzo Jack has fended off. Enzo Jack is running to the line with Osman. Is Osman going to pull out? He does, but Enzo Jack holds on to fifth place. Osman gets sixth. DTVRS loses out to both of them and finishes in seventh place. Testicles coming round. He's ran out of fuel, Testicles, and he's just about to cross the line, and he takes eighth place. And now we get back up to the front, where we still got a battle on our hands for this last lap of the race. Kevin out in front in first place, having made up that massive gap with a strategy from the gods, really. Stormfly looked to have it nailed on, but Stormfly's tyres are killing his pace at the moment. He's got hardly any fuel left, but he is exploiting everything that Alexis has got. He will not want to give this up, but I don't think he's going to have enough to put any form of pressure back on Kevin. And I think Kevin has got this one sewn up as they go through Ascari curves for the final time, down the straight towards Parabolica. And it does look like Stormfly has had to yield then into the braking zone. As long as Kevin gets through this nice and cleanly, Kevin is going to take the lead. So Kevin coming around Parabolica for the final time, the 64th and final time of this 2-hour race. Kevin takes the victory, takes the lead of this to the championship comfortably, and he is victorious. Stormfly finishes in second. Some fantastic battling from these guys. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And, well, credit to all the drivers. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And what a thoroughly enjoyable, intriguing race to watch. And, well, I hope to bring you another race in the coming features. Just to bring you up to speed with the calendar for the World Endurance Championship season with the Ultimate Racing League. We have the next round coming up at Spa at the same time as the just pulling up my calendar. The same weekend as the real life Spa World Endurance Championship race. Ours will be held on the Friday the 8th of May, and the commentary will either be live on the evening or brought to you later in the following week. But for now, thank you very much everyone for watching. I've been your host at URL, Enzo Jack, and we shall see you again for another World Endurance race with the Ultimate Racing League, hopefully in the coming months.